We are now ready to continue with our Omer teaching. Last Sabbath, we ended with the Lord's eyes on you as you lay at his feet wondering, what's next? Well, Zechariah 13:9 tells you, and will refine them, meaning you, as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. Clearly, the Lord connects gold and silver to you, and he will try or refine you in the same way. So let's look closer at those processes. Refine is Hebrews 6:884. It means to fuse, cast, melt, pure, purge away, or try. This is the Lord's plan to cast you in his image, fuse you to him to make you pure by purging all unholiness away. Why? That's my question. The Amplified says in 1 Peter 1:7, Part A, so that the genuineness of your faith may be tested, your faith, which is infinitely more precious than the perishable gold, which is testified and purified by fire. Wow, by fire. Therefore, being tried is the purpose of the Lord's fire in your life. So keep this truth before you. The fire is necessary to prove your faith and make you in the Lord's image. But gold and silver can dim and rust, which is found in Lamentations 4:1 and James 5:3. If this can happen to gold and silver metals, can it happen to you? Revelation 3:5 says, he that overcometh, I will not blot out his name from the book of life. So beware. If the Lord says that he will not blot out overcomers, what will happen to those who are not overcomers? In order to help you overcome, the Lord dispenses mercy and grace by using the word, gatherings, worship, prayer, family, and friends to encourage and comfort you and guard you from getting out of the trial. It's the Lord's love that surrounds you in your trial. As we saw in harvesting, threshing, and winnowing, the Lord never plans to leave you. Don't jump out of the Lord's hand like popcorn so that you fall into the fire below. Do you really want to jump out of the frying pan into the fire? Persevere. Hold on. Overcome. Next, when the fire can be the Lord, it is a blessing. The Lord? Yes. Exodus 3:2. The bush was not consumed, for the Lord, his voice will speak to you out of this fire. Exodus 14:24, a pillar of fire. This fire lights your way, warms you, guides you, and counsels you. What about Zechariah 2:5? A wall of fire. This fire guards you. Thus, the fire of the Lord is a blessing. Now, moving on. The scriptures abound with offerings on the burning altar of uncut stone. Yet, how did Yeshua fulfill this aspect of the offering? He wasn't put on a fire or on an altar of uncut stone. He was put on a wooden tree and crucified. Now, before we can answer this, there's one point that we have to examine. Fire is also for cleansing. Ezekiel 22:15, consume thy filthiness out of thee. This means to utterly destroy some things out of your life. And this is how the Lord's body burned on that tree. Psalm 22, verses 14 and 15. My heart is like wax. It is melted. My strength is dried up like a potsherd. My tongue cleaveth to my jaws. You see, crucifixion does it inside the body. This is why it was necessary for the Lord to be crucified for you. It was in order to cleanse and remove all the filth and deadness that's accumulated in you. And finally, we see that judgment is also a part of fire. Job 31:12, for it is a fire that consumeth to destruction. Or as Matthew 25:41 warns, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire. And there you have it. Fire is for blessing, cleansing, and judgment. There are also 3 different types of heat listed in the Bible. Number 1 is parch. It means to emphasize the idea of just drying or shriveling like a drought. It's like removing your pride, humbling you, and it's a light touch from the Lord. Then there's scorch. That is to burn superficially, to heat, so as to change the color and texture without consuming, as a piece of bread in a toaster. It's like removing your pride, humbling you, plus altering your physical body. And it changes the way you look to others. This is a medium touch to the Lord, from the Lord. Now, for example, don't people accuse you of trying to be Jewish when you crossed over to keep the Sabbath? The Lord first removed you from the world of Christianity, from the world into Christianity, and that's a smaller group, but one with only a few life changes, really. But when you crossed over into the still smaller community of folks on the Torah road, you were separated again, and the life changes were greater, correct? The way you look to others greatly changed. And the third way is consume. It means to vanish, terminate, or perish, gone forever. This is the strong touch from the Lord, because there are some things in your life that simply must be gone. So does the Lord parch, dry, or shrivel you when you first ignore him? Young people, some of the older people in here. And then does he scorch or burn you superficially in order to get your attention? Are you listening to me? But he only consumes and causes you to perish as a final consequence for rejecting him in that car accident that you weren't planning. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting to be parched, scorched, consumed, cleansed, judged? And which kind of fire do the songs we sing here refer to? Parching, scorching, consuming? Here's another way to look at this. Those who respond to the first call, the first time God calls them, they're only parched and thirsty for the Lord, and they're easily humbled and submitted to him. While those who respond to the second call have their outer looks scorched by the situations in their lives. These are their non-essentials, so to speak, but their insides, their real selves, are consumed when they wait for the final call. It's ultimately about refining you, fusing you, casting you, melting, purifying, purging away, or trying you as the Lord either parches, scorches, or has to consume you. Therefore, reflect on Revelation 16, verses 8 and 9. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and the power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. Men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of God, which hath power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. In the fiery trial of your life, are you forgetting to give the Lord glory in your trial? Will you give the Lord his glory in the next fiery trial that he sends? Remember 1 Peter 1:7, so that the genuineness of your faith may be tested, which is infinitely more precious than the perishable gold, which is tested and purified by fire. This proving of your faith is intended to redound to your praise and glory and honor when Jesus Christ, the Anointed One, is revealed. Now let's read together Luke 18:8, and we will end. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? Shall the Lord find faith in you? Please stand, and we will have the blessing of the Omer. This is our 4th week. Every Sabbath is a multiplication of 7. And if you have any issue with multiplication at your school, ready? Go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshenu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sifarat ha-omer. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, whose commandments add holiness to our lives and who gives us the command of counting the Omer. Today is 28 days, which is 4 weeks and 0 days of the counting